Okay, great. Welcome, welcome. Shaktis, we are our SHAKTIBARRE signature class. 55 minutes, we will get moving, and I'm going to start up the official playlist for this class. In terms of what you need today, you've got wherever you're going to be moving in your space, can be mat, doesn't need to be. Any sort of set of weights or weight equivalents, things that you can have in your hand of equal weight for both sides. And then your core ball, which can be actually our SHAKTIBARRE ball if you have this at home, or something equivalent of like a rolled up blanket, a couple of pillows together. There's the kitty running through. She says hello, her name is Jovi. But I will be utilizing that as a prop. So if you have something that you can like squish on during class, it'd be great. So on your feet, start off with some shoulder rolls to begin with. Get your feet planted into the ground. As you roll through, your shoulders still anchored in your feet. Let's see if we can like think about not just anchoring in our feet, but that push into the ground, elevating through you, through your kneecaps, through your legs, kind of lift you up through the top of your head, and then switch forward for your shoulder rolls. You can even add, now that your feet are feeling well placed, you can do a little bit of a knee bend, bring your arms up to fly a little bit more. Deep breaths in. A couple more. 3, 2, love it, Aaron, Mina. 1. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Hang out here for a moment. You can bend and straighten out your knees. Fingertips maybe on a block if you need to, or if you have a chair somewhere nearby and you want to rest your hands on the seat of the chair. All right, inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, hands down, step back into plank. Hang out here. Knees can be off the ground, maybe on the ground to start. We'll take 3 breaths here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. In the next couple of breaths, really feel your back body press into your shoulder blades. Your hands press into the ground, so we got strong anchoring in our hands. On your exhale, lower halfway down, elbows into your side. Inhale and tuck your toes. Baby cobra as you lift up, heart opens. Got the space in your collarbone. Exhale through downward facing dog, hips up and back. Pedal your heels out. Kind of nice stretch in your ankles. Lift up through your tailbone. So you're trying to press into the pads of your fingertips. If downward facing dog ever feels a little funky for you here, make sure your fingertips are spread wide. Get a big press in your fingertips. Make sure your palms aren't sweaty either. No matter how hard you press the sweaty palms, hands will slip. All right, heels even out. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Arms come up overhead. Take your fingertips behind your ears. Let's get our core warmed up. Knee raises. One side, then the other. Up, up. Good. So, side view. Something that would be great for us to work on while you're here trying to raise your knee and tie up is as your knee comes up, try to make sure your low back doesn't tuck underneath. So it's not necessarily about how high you're trying to get your thigh to go, but how can you stay braced through your spine, through your tailbone, to your shoulders, to the top of your head, really trying to get that sense of neutral spine going in your body before we go into any more work, because that's such a base of our barre practice. It's very Pilates. The barre is quite the fusion, right? If you want, you can add a little bit of twist, elbows towards knee. Doesn't have to meet. Just rotating through your spine, getting spinal rotation warmed up, side to side. For 5, 4, you got 3, 2, 1. Let's do another flow with inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. We'll move with the breath. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands down to your mat, back to your plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower halfway. Strong arms. Untuck your toes. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Step your feet forward. Forward fold. And in your forward fold, a little bit more warm up with your legs. Maybe a block. One knee bends. Other knee straightens out. Just for a second or two. You'll hold one side, then switch to the other. It's a good dynamic stretch along the back of your legs. One side, then the other. And I like to do a block because otherwise I'm like way down here trying to get fingertips tent on the ground. One side, the other. All right, come on up to stand. Blocking the opposite side, grabbing onto your weight or weight equivalent. I'm gonna start with 3 pounds, getting into upper back. Step as if you would go into an extended side angle or even a warrior 2. So you got one set of toes pointing straight, other toes off to the side. Elbow down, palm will face into your body. Elbow will pull up towards the ceiling, then a little bit back behind you, and your arm reaches back down. So you gotta pull up, reach down. Good, pull up and reach down. So you get a view from a different angle. Arm reaches straight down, so your palm facing in towards your midline and coming up and around. So what you're trying to do is trying to get your shoulder blade to go from being protracted to retracted. So you're feeling this wrap around in your shoulder blade. I'm doing it in a side angle pose. And it's feet elbow down. You can even have your hands on here, but you don't want to sink into your shoulder with whichever arm is bracing you. It's a little bit more joint friendly here. Really targeting upper back versus like a renegade row. It's really trying to get the in motion with your shoulder blade. Up and around. Lower and pull. Lower and pull. We'll do one side at a time with some sets of exercises for shoulders rather than upper back in between in a wide second. Good. Second move in the same position with your feet. Straighten to your elbow, palm faces towards you. Now pull up and out. And then lower down. And actually, let's stop right around just above halfway or above 90 degrees and come back down. Lift up and back down. Good. Open, lower down. You got your neck is nice and strong here, right? We're not letting our ear punch down towards our shoulder. Big press to your back foot. Couple more. Then we'll swing up into wide second, weights into both hands if you're using any sort of resistance. 3, 2, 1. Come on up, wide second, so heels in, toes turn out. Cactus shape with your arms. Squeeze in with your elbows. Open. Squeeze. Open. Good. You want to add movement in your hips. Ear bob up and down. Yeah. 20 seconds with the squeezes in. Check in on your shoulders. Are you pulling the tension up to your ears? No, let's ground down. Anchor into your shoulder blades, into your hips. Squeeze in, open out, good. Open out. I'm gonna cheat a little bit on our signature sequence today. I'm not gonna do quite so much biceps. We're gonna do a little bit more shoulders and upper back. For 4, good. 3, 2, next time your elbows come wide, keep them out, palms flip down, rotate up. Down, rotate up. Lowering your hand perpendicular to the floor, actually parallel, my bad, then perpendicular, coming on up. And with your elbows out to the side, especially in a wide second, being so open with your feet and so open with your shoulders is like causing you to feel like you're gonna tilt back. Start with adjusting your toes in a little bit closer to neutral. And if that's still not helping, bring your elbows a little bit more forward so that they're perhaps a little bit in front of your body. You can still rotate from here. Up, lower, good. Few more, then we'll switch to side 2 with the single arm movement for upper back. 4, you got 3, rotate down 2, 1, setting up on side 2, turn your toes, bend your knee, and come down, we pull up with your elbow first. That wrap around with your shoulder blade. Pull, reach. So when I hit the beat of the song, pull, reach, pull. I like to focus my gaze in front rather than bring my eyes down and up. Otherwise, it gets a little bit dizzying with a quick pace. Up to you. Some dancers might find it a little bit better. Focus on one point, some switching. I don't know the science of spotting, so don't follow along with me on that in particular. Reach. Few more. 3. Good. 2. You got your straight elbow, lifting up. Lift above halfway, lower down. Lift up. Good. Lower down. You go from having, if you think about it, your arm in relation to the other, you go from having pretty closed parallel arms to opening up your chest. A little bit of rotation. And then back down. 15 seconds. And we'll come back up. We'll take it back to wide second. Head into bicep work. I really want you to feel your shoulder blade bracing as your arm comes up. And then back down with control for 3. Beautiful. 2. Open back up. 1. Nice. Weights into both hands. Up to second position. Wide. Taking it down. So squeeze all the way up to your shoulders. We pulse 2 times and a slow release down. Squeeze. 2. Slow release down. Good. Squeeze up. 2. Lower. Squeeze up. 2. Lower. And I'm like, this is a still posture for such an energetic song, but kind of translate some of the energy of the song into how you're focusing in on your biceps with that really strong squeeze up. We're getting a pulse in before slow lowering down, so you're fighting against gravity. Up, lower, down. And you can translate that into your leg movement too. You can come up, 2, lower, down. Good. Squeeze. 2, lower. Squeeze. 2, lower. Beautiful. Do 20 more seconds. Got a second move for biceps. We'll head into triceps afterwards. It'll be a hinged squat, right? Hinge chair. If you can visualize what that means, you'll see it in a moment. 5, 4, 3, 2, good. Lower down into your wide second. Scoop out, squeeze in a W shape. Lower down, come back in, parallel squeeze. So it's a curl with your palm facing up, both ways. Moving in through this really, not a half circle, it's like a half oval shape with your hands that are tracing from out, squeeze, and back in, squeeze. Not a rotating your forearms to come out into a hammer curl. Keep a regular bicep curl the whole way through. Out, squeeze, lower in, squeeze. Good. Out and in. Beautiful. If you're taking this in a wide second, you can sink a little bit lower. Still got some space to pass your thighs in and out. Good. In. Nice. Lower out. For 3. For 2. 1. We got both feet stacked together. Hinge. Throw feet back. Elbows behind your body. Almost a full kick back, but your elbows stay slightly soft. Then stretch. So reach, reach, reach. Like my knuckle trying to tap a button right behind my fist. Reach. Let's not try to slam into it. It's enough to tap it. I know it's there. Slight release afterwards, but not take so much distance away from the button. Because if it's all the way disconnected from where the button is, I'm going to take it away. It's one of those easy buttons from Staples, right? And you remember those? Good. Reach, reach. Your chin, want to make sure we're not holding our chin into our chest. So a little bit of a lift away. Yeah, there we go. Not at the wall in front of us, but it's like 2 feet in front of our toes. And that gives us a nice straight line, top of our head to our hips, not giving us too much of a strain on our neck either. Reach, reach. Good. For 4. For 3. 2 elbows are straight. Now lift up with your hands. Up an inch, up, down, down. Remember that wrapping in of your shoulder blades before that we were working in our side angle with our legs? Remember that feeling when you got to the end of that motion and pulled your elbow up and around? Think about staying engaged there pretty much the whole time with the lift in your hands and our tricep pulses. That open feeling you had in your collarbones, in your chest, braced with your shoulder blades down, moving down your back. Lift, lift. If you want heels, maybe you come off the ground. Got a little bit of balance, ankle strength here. Ooh, 3 pounds is too much for me. I'm putting mine down and keeping going. Up, up, good. Now, couple of seconds, keep your hands just above your body. Let's stay up here. Now squeeze your palms in towards each other. In, out, just above hip level. Remember, elbows are staying straight. That's how we're keeping this as a tricep exercise. So as soon as our elbow bends, it's going to be more in our shoulders. So reach, 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 squeeze in, a couple more seconds to finish it out. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come on up. Holy cow. Weights off to the side. Starting off with some curtsy lunges, but we'll add movement rather than staying static. And then pull. So right leg, take your left leg behind. An arm sweep out to the side. It's almost like you're bowing. And as you step up and out to the side with your back leg, bring your arms up overhead and a little bit of sweep. So we're drawing a half circle with our arms out to the side, bring it up. Ooh, I have to watch out for my fan. Just hit my finger on a little bit. Good thing it's a really dull one and it's wood. All right, wait, let me get my foot back into this. Good, come on up. Same thing at home, watch overhead with your fan. Good, deep step back. Good. Up to you in terms of your toe position in the curtsy lunge. Toes can be facing a little bit more straight forward. If you feel comfortable in your external rotation with your toes of your front leg being a little bit out to the side, go for it. Out to the side, overhead, good. Out to the side. Big press in your heel as you come up and bring your arms overhead also. Good. We'll be here for a bit, maybe about 20 to 30 seconds more. And so there's no surprises. At the end of that, we'll stay standing, almost in this like if you're at a concert, waving your arms in the air, yay. We'll stay in that standing position and do some side leg lifts. Got about 10, 15 seconds left. Out and up. Nice, step back. Out and up. 5, 4, 3, 2, at the top. Arms can stay overhead, maybe out to the side. Let's rotate your lifted leg toes externally. Side leg lift. Up, 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 up. Knees straight. So if your toes are hovering closer to the ground, all good. Hands can be on your hips if that helps you stay a little bit more anchored into your standing leg rather than letting your hip kick out to the side. As long as we're getting this range of motion, but lift, lift, good. Nice, and let's slowly bring this leg from an outside position to forward, and we'll do a leg lift in front, up. Still a slight rotation with your toes out, so rather than line with your midline, parallel, almost like you're trying to cut in at half of a triangle angle. Hopefully, you can see my feet. You can see my heel because my toes are rotated out. Lift, lift. Watch your lower back in this one and your upper back. Tendency might be to lean back to get your leg higher. Keep your shoulders over your hips. Low back. Try not to tuck as you bring your leg up. You need to stay lower. All good. Lift. Good. Next time your leg comes up, hold. Rotate your toes to neutral. Bend your knee in. Extend. In. Extend. Good. Now, if you're like, I'm feeling so spicy today, my standing leg is still not tired enough, which I'd be amazed if that's where you're at, but hey, right? Wherever you're at, if you want, as you extend your knee out, you could do a heel raise and lower down. Do heel raise and lower down. You extend and lower. But try to have your knee lifted where you feel this along your quad as you fully extend forward with your toes versus a little bit too low, like missing that edge, or we're feeling challenged in our muscles to maintain. 5 more seconds. Good. 4, 3, 2. Beautiful. 1. And we got this leg that's no moving. Step it, anchor. Do our side step, our bow, and up overhead out to the side. Starting over. Out. Up. Good. So give this outside edge of our standing leg that we were using before a little bit of a break, because now you've anchored into your second leg. We're taking these nice deep curtsy squats, curtsy bow. And if you stay a little bit higher up with your chest, just notice if that makes any difference in terms of where the load goes. I personally noticed the hinge forward, almost like hinging in a squat versus kind of like a bar and knee forward, is going to put more weight into my glute in a bow forward in this curtsy squat versus staying a little bit higher up with your chest. My top of my thigh quad's going to feel a little bit more. So you can always adjust between the two also. Something to be aware of. Bring it up, lower down, good. Lower down. 10 seconds. Not quite a hip bar class, we're not jumping around, but we're still glistening, we're still sweating. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2. Staying up at the top, wherever you'd like your arms to land, instead of toes pointing straight out to the side. External rotate open, lift, lift, lift. So now I know you're zeroed in on yourself. For me, for a moment, my hip was kind of kicked out to the side. I had to press into my standing heel, a big squeeze in your glutes. You can put your hands there if you need to remember, like, hey, there's some great big muscles there to help me out. That help with standing, helps with stability there. Side leg lift, lift, lift. Do 15 more seconds out to the side. Then we'll take our legs forward, but we're still holding out to the side. Still lift, lift. Squeeze your glutes like you're trying to squeeze your glutes in towards your midline. Good bracing along the back side of your body. The big press into your heel still. 5, 4, 3, 2. Bring your legs forward, but keep the pulse going. Straighten your toes out so you're parallel to your midline. Lift, lift, lift. We're moving through a few inches range of motion, like 4-ish inches, rather than down to the ground. Down to the ground is certainly an option. This gives us a little bit more break on our muscles before we come back up for a leg raise. Good. 5, 4, we'll still keep the leg up. 3, we got our knee extensions in 2. Good, bend your knee. In, extend. In, extend. And it really should feel like an effort to get your knee to straighten, to think about your kneecap pulling up towards your hip. Then reach, good. If you like, you can add your heel raise. Something to be aware of. Try not to topple, even if it's like a little lift for a second. Good, reach. For this one, I think we also have about 20 seconds left. I gotta hang tight, can't do heel raises for me the whole way through. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. First position, last bit here. Heel raises up, lower, up, lower. We'll be in first position for one more movement. There's just one more set that we're doing to finish out our legs. Did glutes a little bit more in the beginning than towards the end. If you need something nearby to balance out with, grab something to balance with. About 15 seconds, we'll try to keep our heels off the ground and do a couple, like a stage, lowering down of our hips and a stage coming back up. And by stage, I mean like 1 part, 2 part, 3 part, and back up. You're feeling the stop of your hips along the different distances. 4, 3, 2, heels come up. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Pause for a second. Come back up. 1, 2, 3. Don't straighten your knees out. Back down. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Back up. 1, 2, 3. Hold. Back down. Keep it going. Good. You can take a breath to collect yourself in between each rep. Back down. Good. Back up. Keep going. I'm going to check on our time. We're not overdoing it too much. We're never overdoing it with legs and bar. But want to keep our flow going. For those of you here live, because I'm saying this to recorded folks as well, Adi, Kate, if you're doing all right. Mary, you too. Got a pretty full house at the moment. Oh my goodness, so many names. Jessica, Genevieve, Emily, Meg, Ashley. 10 more seconds. 2, man. Remember, you're feeling the parts. Down, down, down. Pause. Up, up, up. Pause. Woo. Last round. Not officially 10 seconds. A little longer. 1, 2, 3. Great work. All right, maybe down on the ground. We'll get some inner thigh work in as well with our planks and push-ups. So if you would, grab onto your ball or whatever you're using to substitute it. Into a modified side plank, please, rather than a full one. Down onto one elbow. Set your knees up. They're going to be a little bit in front of your body. Heel bend. Take a ball place between our knees. Still strong in your shoulders. We press in our elbow and also to the outside of your bottom knee. Coming up here, good. Ooh, when you're set up here, you can hang out here. Maybe the ball stays between your knees. An option here to get in some of your inner thigh work. Just squeeze on the ball. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Big squeeze of your top leg down, obviously, because your bottom knee. Ooh, keeping you stable. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And we're hanging out here. And the reason I'm saying not doing this in a full side plank, because imagine trying to do this in a full side plank. There's nowhere for your leg to really anchor on. Doing this in modified. We're up, our hips are lifted, big squeeze to your glutes, in with your knees. Squeeze, squeeze. Nice. Some big breaths here. Beautiful. Anytime you need to take a moment, your hips can come down. We'll be up in our side plank knee squeeze, 20-ish seconds. And then afterwards, I'd love to do a thread through to get some rotation through our thoracic spine, get some of our obliques involved in a different way. Just keep an eye out on your neck. Your fingertips can come down if you need to. For me, sometimes gazing towards the ground helps, but I'm not letting my head, eyes collapse down towards the ground either. 3, 2, take your top arm up, palm faces forward. Reach your fingers through between your elbow and your knee. Let your chest pull down towards the ground as you reach back. Open back up. Exhale. Rotate, reach, and come back up. So it's not really your fingers leading you. They're helping guide you. So we're using our spine, our rib cage to rotate us through. You feel your muscles contract to reach your fingers even farther back. A couple more. All right, knees up in your side plank. Come back to center, or come meet me in center. We haven't been there yet. Modified wide arm push-up. Hands wider than your shoulders. Let's have our knees down to start, unless you're feeling really, really strong. Keeping your knees off the ground. Low back is not going to go anywhere. Lower down. And we press back up. And when your elbows come down into wide arm push-up, imagine you're looking at me from below on the floor. Your elbows don't go out to the side like this, so that would be more fingers facing each other. And then elbows make this really obtuse triangle. If you were to draw a line from your elbows to your shoulders, to meet somewhere around your midline. So have your fingertips kind of dialed in, almost like you're trying to turn dials, a knob on your shower, but you're not going to rotate all the way. Good. In our push-up, having our forehead beat us to the ground isn't going to help us. So if we're feeling comfortable at the moment, to give our eyes a brief close, feel the back of your neck, hold strong, almost as if you were trying to press into somebody's hand, or press into, if you were lying down, the ground behind you. That feels more comfortable to visualize. Keep that strength in your neck. Lead down with your chest towards the ground. rather than your forehead. So if you're here like, what are you talking about, mumbo jumbo, Sammy? What is going on? So instead of us going down with our forehead, we're up, our chin's away from our chest, and we let our chest leading us down. Your gaze is a couple of inches in front of your pinkies, your fingers. You've got your hips rather than back closer to being in line with your knees. They're in front of your knees. And our chest is making its way to the ground instead of our forehead. 10 more seconds. We'll go on to side 2 for our side plank with some knee squeezes. Peak of class. We're taking big breaths. Really pushing energy through. Not necessarily pushing through anything in terms of like if you're experiencing pain, give yourself a moment. But muscle effort, we're hitting our spicy peak of class. 5, 4, 3, 2, and when music drop, let's go to side 2. I'm not a DJ, but I've got some nostalgia going at awesome DJ shows. Side 2 with your elbow down, your fingers facing the same direction as your chest. Got to squeeze with our knees. The ball between. Squeeze. So we're stable in our side plank position. You can take our hand for a second and feel through our obliques. Holding us up here, so isometric work. We're not changing angles on anything. We're not rotating through any joints. We're staying in place. Contracted the whole time. The non-isometric work is happening between our thighs and ball sweeps. Try about 15 seconds and we'll thread the needle. And I'd love to have us end up holding a plank to finish out plank and push-up set. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, arm reaches. We got a needle spread. And we reach back, rotate. Arm comes up. We press your palm to your shoulder. Exhale to rotate. Bring it back up. Good. My light is getting the best of me. Let me come out of this dark corner. With my side swoop hair. Carry on the emo feel. Okay. Reach an arm up. Rotate in. Try a few more. I want hand and plank. And I'm going to recommend being in a high up plank with palms down. Now, if you have wrist challenges today, you're not feeling it with your wrists, come down to your elbows. But I figure since we've been in a modified side plank throughout this, might give your shoulder in this position, your elbow, a little bit of a break. 3, 2, 1. Back to center, actually back to center this time. Up in our plank. Now, knees can start off down. Watch your elbows, make sure you're not forcing forward to your elbow joints. Have your elbows face a little bit in towards each other, some softening in your joints, but a big press into your hands. See if we can tuck our toes, hang out and plank for a little bit more, about 15 seconds. Breathing. I don't know if you can hear my voice shaking along with it for 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower your knees down, either tabletop or child's pose, any sort of posture that feels like a relief on your wrists and shoulders for a moment. It gives us some capacity to take some big breaths for a moment. To catch up with our breath. Great time for any sips of water if you need. I have my water nearby. Like number 1, party foul. No water nearby. I didn't go through my own checklist. Couple more deep breaths. Do a mainly standing vinyasa flow. So if you transition your way up, however you'd like, up onto your feet, whatever you want to get up. Facing along the length of your mat, maybe towards the top or at least one end of it. Nice. Chair pose, bend your knees, reach back to your hips. Arms as always, up to you. Your legs, shoulders. We are tired from before. We're doing an active rest. We support it along the front side, along our abdominals. The weight is a little bit more back in our heels. Nice. Straighten to your knees, reach your arms up. Let's take one knee up, let's right side. Like our knee warm up before. Hold. Nice. For a twist, rotate your chest towards your lifted leg. Open your arms. Palms face in the same direction as your eyes are. Try to use your shoulder to rotate through your rib cage a little more, and you can use your hands too. Shoulder blades down your back, a lift through your neck and the top of your head. Back through center, arms up. Warrior 3, heel reaches back, straighten to your knee, hip stays squared off. Your grounded front leg, slight bend in your knee if you need to start. Squeeze through your glutes, have your leg lifted. Your toes face the floor. Maybe your arms reach overhead for a Warrior 3 or airplane version with your arms reaching back. Step back to high lunge, toes down, feet on separate tracks. Inhale, arms up. Lovely. Warrior 2, heel comes down, arms reach long. Gaze can be out to the side or of your front fingertips. Encourage your shoulder blades down. I'm thinking about the beginning of class. Let's do a side angle. Forearm can be down. Arm reaches maybe up overhead in line with your shoulder, or a little bit more along the lines of the length of your leg and your back heel. Don't sink into your shoulder of your elbow. That's connected to the top of your thigh if it's there. Nice. Oh, we're making our way down to the mat. So hands down, frame your front foot, step back to a plank, inhale. Exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale and tuck your toes, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Give yourself a breath here. Meet me top of your mat. Coming up to stand again. Chair pose. So repeat this on side 2. I don't know if you can see kitty cat came through to say hi. Since we've got this lovely bend in our knees, think about that as you come up to stand. Side 2, knee side comes up. Open your arms, twist. The chest towards your raised thigh for a closed twist. There are open twists. You'd be going away from your thigh. Just rotate towards. Your hands, if you need to help with connecting to your rib cage. Good. Squeeze forward, arms up. Warrior 3, heel comes back. I gotta watch out from fan again. Keep reading how tall I am. Heel reaches back, squeeze your glutes. We lift, lift. Hips are squared off, facing towards the mat, splash floor. Hold for 3, 2, meet me in high lunge. Toes come down, separate tracks as if you were on train tracks rather than a balance beam. Let's take a Warrior 2. Big squeeze in your front hips. Keep your knee in line with your toes so we're not knocking in. Palms down, maybe gazes forward. Big anchoring into your back heel. Side angle. I like to start here with your arm reaching up. I can adjust my rib cage, maybe widen my stance. I'm like, all right, here's good. Now maybe I'm reaching my arm overhead. Feeling great. Good, hands down, frame your front foot. Back to plank again, inhale. And an option of your flow of the halfway lower. An inhale to back bend. Exhale to downward facing dog. All right, we can hang out here for a moment. I'd love to add some twists with a reach towards ankles. from your downward facing dog. So take your right hand, press into your left hand. Right hand's coming off the mat. Reach back towards your left ankle. Maybe you reach it, maybe you're a little bit closer to higher up towards your knee. Arm comes down. Knees to be bent for this. Try not to straighten your knees too much. Rotate, reach other hand towards your opposite ankle. Press into your hands. Reach, rotate. And back. Reach, rotate. And back. A couple more times. Or you're hanging out in downward facing dog. Not the most resting posture, but pretty challenging posture to hold when you really break it down. So if you're hanging out there or rotating, meet me in tabletop on an inhale. And on an exhale, lower your chest all the way to the ground. Do some back body work. Reach your arms back, palms face the floor, pinkies next to your hips, thumbs facing away from your body and tuck your toes. Inhale for a second and reset. Exhale. All right, inhale, lengthen through the top of your head and toes. On your exhale, forehead comes up. Maybe chest, maybe shoulders. Now tops of your feet, maybe shins, maybe knees. Heels take a little bit separated away from each other. And now maybe your hands come up as you try to reach your fingertips back towards your heels. All that more of an exaggeration of our shoulder blades trying to come down or back towards our hips. Good, maybe hang out here, or we can lift our hands a little bit above the backside of our body and squeeze our pinkies in towards our midline. In, release, in, release. We've got our gaze towards the ground rather than the wall directly in front of us. We keep the back of our neck long rather than all crumpled. Squeeze. Think about the top of your head where it's reaching away from our toes. Opposite direction. Squeeze 3, squeeze 2, 1. Bring your hands down. Make a pillow underneath your forehead. Lower, lower. Give your hips a little quick wiggle. Whew. We'll do another one of those. Set your arms up. Reach back. Let's take our forehead off the ground, tops of feet. Maybe the rest of our body follows. Hands can come up and hang out here. Or we do some pinky squeezes in towards the midline again. Hands just a little bit above the backside of our body. Squeeze in, in. Definitely pinkies not touching. Making a little bit of movement in. Squeeze, squeeze. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Come back down. Hip wiggle. All right, meet me on your seat with your core ball. I'm bringing my camera down. Feet on the floor, feet in front. This is our core ball. Right behind us, rather than tucked towards our low back, let's actually place it a little bit higher, right around mid-back, so just kind of above waistline. Elbows back, so a little bit of support here. Bring your toes back, heels off the ground. Knees will open away from each other into a triangular / butterfly shape. Come back in towards center. Knees up towards your chest. Doesn't have to be tucked all the way in, but feel the effort in your abdominals to take your feet off the ground. Toes come back down. Knees open. Come back to center. Exhale. Knees come in. If you want, you can speed this up. Open. In. Squeeze. Lower. Out. In. Lift. Lower. I have to stop chattering because I need to be able to breathe for this to be proper form. Especially on the leg lift. Really should be feeling this in lower abdominals. Hip flexors are going to be involved just by nature of a leg lift towards our chest. But on our exhale, we think about belly button really trying to pull down towards the ground. Out. In. Lift. Out. In. So good. In. 20 seconds. Hope you're doing all right. Are we still breathing? Like sped by, feels like so quickly. How are we bringing ourselves back into our movement? Staying here, right now, in our physical body, maybe in our mental and emotional body as well, or emotional state. Think about your feet being one way to anchor yourself down with a physical reminder of that sensation of your tailbone on the ground. All right. Next time, after your thighs come in, your toes come back down to the ground. Slide your feet a little bit away, heels connect. And now let's lift ourselves up, core ball or whatever you're using as a kind of spacer between your back comes to very low spine. Low, like it's really your lumbar spine here. Arms reach forward. We'll do a slow lower back. Exhale, quick, come on. Ooh, good. Slow lower back. Exhale, come on. Lower back. And it could be exhale during both motions. Don't feel like you have to do inhale on your way back because there's still contracting going on with your muscles to stabilize so you don't fall and let your shoulders slack to the ground. But we're really looking for an exhale to come up and reach with. You're like, all right, this is great. I'm feeling this. I could probably feel more. Hands can come in towards your chest. You add a little bit more weight closer towards the center of your body or towards the upper part of your body. It's going to add more as you lean back. What likely is going to feel probably even more challenging because this is going to engage upper back and causing your spine to be like, all right, if it's too tight, it might feel a bit too forced. But if we've got the space, we can bring fingertips behind ears or at the ridge of your skull. Back and up. For me, I'm going to stick with arms right in front. Back, back, quick up. Slow back, back, quick up. There's some really great power building that happens when we resist gravity on the eccentric, so elongating of muscles movement, resisting gravity really. And then on the concentric, a little bit quicker to contract. So lower, lower, and up. Last few, about 10 more seconds. Good. All right, core ball out from behind your low back. We'll combine some glute bridge work with abdominal work to wrap things up. So onto your back with your feet down to the ground. Whew, arms to your side, anchor to your heels. Tuck slightly to your hips. Let's lift up, squeeze. Make sure you're not leading with your chest, so we're not pushing up with our chest towards the ceiling. All right, now squeeze in on the ball with your knees, so angle so you can see. Squeezing in. Now come down. We'll do a knee into chest and lower down carefully. Try not to let your low back pop off the ground as your feet come down. Tuck, squeeze up, squeeze in, lower down. Knees come in, lower down, back up, in, lower down. Knees come into chest, lower down with awareness. Actually, when you come up, and if we're going for that in on the knees, we can go for a little bit of a up, tuck also for the press of your heels. So glutes kind of trying to lift. As your knees come in, and lower down. Knee sides into our chest, and lower back down. Ooh, shoulders and back of our head staying connected. Lower. So this movement in our legs, we're trying to make sure that it's really targeting through our midsection and helping us out, kind of balancing all the way around. We're trying to make sure we're not lifting our thoracic spine from our mid to upper back as we're coming back down with our feet. We're really trying to keep as close to a neutral spine as possible. Up, now lower down, good. Up, squeeze in. And last round. Good. Let's let our feet connect to the ground. We're all wrapped up. Man, that went by so fast. Core ball or whatever you're using to walk to the side. We give ourselves some movements and stretches that feel good to round out our own practice. That can look like so many different shapes and movements, or no movement. Another option too. ourselves with some time to allow for deeper breaths to run through our lungs. And take a look at the time. So we got about 2 minutes to be here to enjoy our music and still wrap up on time, to enjoy our wrap up of our practice in any sort of stillness or movement or stretches. So for the remaining minute and a half-ish, I'm gonna close my mouth and let you drift. Wherever you're at right now in wrapping things up, you are in any sort of reclined posture, want to meet in a seated posture, start to invite some movement into your body if you've been still, or have larger movements if you've been moving, something that can assist you up into a seat if you're not already there. Through how you would like to close things out. Let's give ourselves a deep breath of appreciation into our nose, out through our mouth. We came here, we moved today, for whatever reason, we made our way through it. So we thank ourselves, we thank our community for being here. I thank you for being here. Appreciate you so much. And